Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 26. We are going to go to the verse 8. Karya Karana Kartritve Karanam Prakritim Viduhu Bhoktritve Sukha Dukhanam Purusham Prakrite Param. So, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The cause of the conditioned soul's material body and senses, and the senses presiding deities, the demigods, is the material nature. This is understood by learned men. The feelings of happiness and distress of the soul, who is transcendental by nature, are caused by the spirit soul himself. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that when the Lord descends to this material world, he comes as a person by his own energy, Atma Maya. He's not forced by any superior energy. He comes by his own will, and this can be called his pastime or Lila. So when Krishna comes, when he comes as himself, as Sri Krishna, or when he comes as Lord Nishingadev, Lord Ramachandra, Varahadev, Kurma Avatar, so many incarnations. He comes, he decides to come. Oh, I'm going to come in this universe, in this planet, in this form, and I'm going to do this activities, and I'm going to be, these are going to be my parents, and these are going to be my associates. So Krishna chooses, and he comes by his own internal energy. By his own internal energy. He's not forced. He's not forced. He comes by his own will. We are forced, we are pushed, we can't choose. Or suppose according to our karma, next life supposed to be a dog, can't choose. I can't say, no, they don't give us a menu. Or which species do you want to go to? Now we have menu for like options for everything. Any little thing also, there'll be so many options that we have. And then, which planet, which species, where, no, we are not given that choice. But Krishna, he comes by his will. That's why it's called pastime. Our coming to this world is not a pastime. It's not, because we are forced. But here it is clearly stated that the conditioned soul is forced to take a certain type of body and senses under the three modes of material nature. That body is not received according to his own choice. In other words, a conditioned soul has no free choice. He has to accept a certain type of body according to his karma. So we will say, oh, Mother Nature gave me the body of a dog and she's so mean. Well, but then our activities are the body of a dog. So Mother Nature says, you can do better in the body of a dog. You'll be able to enjoy more better as you like to. So you better take this body. So it's according to our karma. So we are responsible. But when there are bodily reactions as felt in happiness and distress, it is to be understood that the cause is the spirit soul himself. If he so desires, the spirit soul can change this conditional life of dualities by choosing to serve Krishna. So we are responsible. It's not, the responsibility does not lie on anyone else. We are expert to throw the responsibility to someone else and behave as that we are the victims. We have that victim mentality. Oh, what can I do? I can't do anything. No, it's not me. No, it is ourselves. We have to wake up and realize till the time we do not accept responsibility, we won't be able to get out of here. And what is the choice? We choose Krishna. That's the only independent free will that we have. We say we are independent, but what is our independent free will? That either to choose Krishna or to choose Maya. The choice is ours, and this is the choice. The living entity is the cause of his own suffering, but he can also be the cause of his eternal happiness. When he wants to engage in Krishna consciousness, A suitable body is offered to him by the internal potency, the spiritual energy of the Lord. And when he wants to satisfy his senses, a material body is offered. So the choice is ours. What do we want? We want to be with Krishna, or we want to pretend we are Krishna? We want to be with God, or we want to pretend we are God? If we want to be with God, we are given a body by the internal energy, spiritual, a spiritual energy, spiritual body is given. But when we want to pretend we are God, we are given this material body, because in spiritual body, we cannot pretend we are God. So then this material body is given. Thus, it is his free choice to accept a spiritual body or a material body. But once the body is accepted, he has to enjoy or suffer the consequences. Once we make the choice of a material body, we have to accept the body is under the laws. The material body is under the laws of material nature, under these three modes of nature. And the spiritual body is under the laws of the spiritual nature. Spiritual nature is Sat, Chid, Ananda, eternal, full of happiness, full of bliss. The Mayavadi philosopher's presentation is that the living entity enjoys his pastimes by accepting the body of a hog. This theory is not acceptable, however, because the word pastime implies voluntary acceptance for enjoyment. Therefore, this interpretation is most misleading. So we, the living entity, we take up the body of a hog. That is not our pastime. We are forced. We are forced to enter into the body of a hog, and do all the most kind of abominable things. Where does a pig live, and what does he eat, and what is he swimming in? If we look at it, do we really want to do that? How can we call that? Would anyone voluntarily like to do it? But once we do it, then we forget. We forget. So it is not our choice. We are forced based on our karma to accept the different bodies. The Lord's pastime, when there is enforced acceptance for suffering, it is not a pastime. The Lord's pastimes and the conditioned living entities' acceptance of karmic reaction are not on the same level. So there's a difference. There's a difference. When the Lord comes, his activities are leelas, pastimes. When we are in the body, this is not our leela. We are going from one body to another based on our karma. Is that okay? So there's a difference between the Supreme Lord and between us. That's the difference we need to understand. Krishna says, if you understand my transcendental nature and form, then you're liberated. You don't need to come back here. That's the point we need to understand. Who is God? How great he is. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Devahutiruvacha prakriti purushasyapi lakshanam purushottama bruhi karanayor asya sat asachayad atmakam. Devahuti said, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, kindly explain the characteristics of the Supreme Person and his energies, for both of these are the causes of this manifest and unmanifest creation. Prakriti, or material nature, is connected with both the Supreme Lord and the living entities, just as a woman is connected with her husband as a wife and with her children as a mother. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that he impregnates Mother Nature with children, living entities, and thereafter all species of living entities become manifest. The relationship of all living entities with material nature has been explained. So it's very important for us to understand our relationship with the material nature, the relationship of the Supreme Lord with material nature, and the relationship of the living entity with the Supreme Lord. We may say, oh, I'm the spirit soul. I have nothing to do with material nature. I don't need to know it so well. But we need to know it because that's the only thing we can experience. Our mind, our senses are totally right now, we are inside this material body. So we are keeping on thinking that material nature is supreme. And we are thinking we are products. The living entity is a product of material nature. So we need to understand the relationship. The relationship of all living entities with material nature has been explained. Now an understanding of the relationship between material nature and the Supreme Lord is sought by Devahuti. The product of that relationship is stated to be manifest and unmanifest material world. The unmanifest material world is the subtle Mahatattva, and from that Mahatattva, the material manifestation has emerged. So we heard in second canto of Bhagavatam how Mahavishnu is lying down. There's just this dark cloud in one portion of the Brahman called the Mahatattva. Mahatattva has all the ingredients, but the activity has not yet started. The activity has not yet started. And and that's why it's called the unmanifested stage. So after the Supreme Lord looks at the Mahatattva, he impregnates the living entity inside this Mahatattva, he agitates the modes. Then the creation happens one after another. We were reading how the creation is happening from the most subtle to the most gross. Mahatattva is the most subtle. From there comes false ego, then the mind, then all the senses, then the different elements. In the Vedic literatures, it is said that by the glance of the Supreme Lord, the total material energy is impregnated, and then everything is born of material nature. It's very interesting that even in the scientists also, they say that the atom moves only when someone looks at it. And that is the discovery they made. Now, so who is the one who's looking at the atom? That is the point to understand. And that is the Supreme Lord. That they don't say. I think it's in the field of calculus or in the physics field that they say that the atom moves when someone is looking at it. And so who is that someone? That is the Supreme Lord. So this is also confirmed in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that under his glance, ayadhyakshena, under his direction and by his will, nature is working. It is not that nature works blindly. Krishna says, mayadhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam. Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, text 10. He says this, mayadhyakshena, this energy, she's mine. And she's working under my supervision. I am looking at her, ayadhyakshena. It's going under my supervision. I'm looking at everything, and it's happening by my will. As we say, not even a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Lord. We think, oh, so nice, so automatic. Everything is so automatic. But there is the will of the Supreme Lord behind this all automatic. The Supreme Lord is behind it. Just as a child may not understand that, he may think, oh, so automatic, how all these gadgets are working, so automatic, so nice, But he doesn't know that there was this engineer is there who's creating all these gadgets. Right? So then, after understanding the position of the conditioned souls in relation to material nature, Devahuti wanted to know how nature works under the direction of the Lord and what the relationship is between the material nature and the Lord. In other words, she wanted to learn the characteristics of the Supreme Lord in relation to the material nature. So we had been reading that material nature, she's like the mother. The mother, we were reading that in Caitanya Caritamrta recently, that the mother, she gives birth to the child. So she's the material cause and the efficient cause. So a small child, he doesn't know. He thinks, yes, babies, where they come from, mother's stomach. The mother is the cause of the child, but he doesn't know that it was the father who put the semen in the mother. The child doesn't know. It's later when he grows up, he has a higher intelligence, then he understands. So this is what we are understanding, that it's the Supreme Lord who puts the living entities in the mother nature.
So the
Material
Supreme Lord
nature,
is Father. Is the Supreme
Supreme
Lord
Lord.
is the Father, right? Yeah.
That's,
Without the Father,
yes.
there will be no child.
Oh, that's right.
It's
That's
in the
right.
Bhagavatam 2. Yeah. Canto 1.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you. So, and now Devahuti, she's saying, I want to understand the nature or how material nature is working under the direction of the Supreme Lord. So now she's saying, okay, I understood that the living entities, they are put inside here by what is our position? We living entities are put now. Now, what is the relationship between the Supreme Lord and material nature? The relationship of living entities with matter and that of the Supreme Lord with matter are certainly not on the same level, although the Mayavadis may interpret it in that way. When it is said that the living entities are bewildered, the Mayavadi philosophers ascribe this bewilderment to the Supreme Lord. But that is not applicable. The Lord is never bewildered. That is the difference between personalists and impersonalists. Devotee is not unintelligent. She has enough intelligence to understand that the living entities are not on the same level of the Supreme Lord. So that's what we need to understand, that we, the living entities, God, he's much greater than us. God is omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, but we are not God. We are parts and parcels of God. We're children of God. This is what we need to understand. And Devahuti understands this. She's understood this. Now, because the living entities are infinitesimal, they become bewildered or conditioned by material nature. But this does not mean that the Supreme Lord is also conditioned or bewildered. So if we cannot say, oh yeah, God is in illusion, then there is no meaning of God. Then that means illusion is God. If we say that God is an illusion, means illusion is greater than God. What's the meaning of God? No one can be greater than him. But now if we say God is an illusion, means illusion becomes greater than God. That means illusion is God. That's totally illogical. So God never is an illusion, and he himself is saying it. He himself is saying it. It's my transcendental form. I am never an illusion, this material nature. She's working under my direction. And there is a difference. We are not the Lord. Material nature is not working under our direction. It's not that the sun and the moon are rising and setting because they are fearful of us. We may desire it. We may wish it. Sometimes it may come true, but they're not working under our direction. It's not that, oh, I will set the path of the sun and the moon, and I will set when the rains are supposed to come, and I will set which planet is going to move around how. And so that's the Supreme Lord. So the difference between the conditioned soul and the Lord is that the Lord is the Lord and the master of the material nature. And he is therefore not subject to its control. He is controlled neither by spiritual nature nor by material nature. He is the supreme controller himself, and he cannot be compared to the ordinary living entities who are controlled by the laws of nature. So the Supreme Lord, he has the material energy, he has the spiritual energy, they belong to him. He is not controlled by them. He's not controlled by them. And so that's the reason he's the Supreme Lord. And we, all the living entities, all the souls, we are controlled by him. We are controlled by him, either through the agency of material energy or through spiritual energy. The words used in this verse are Sat and Asat. The cosmic manifestation is Asat. It does not exist. But the material energy of the Supreme Lord is Sat, or ever existing. Material nature is ever existing in its subtle form as the energy of the Lord. but it sometimes manifests this non-existent or temporarily existent nature, the cosmos. An analogy may be made with the father and mother. The mother and the father exist, but sometimes the mother begets children. Similarly, this cosmic manifestation, which comes from the unmanifest material nature of the Supreme Lord, sometimes appears and again disappears. But the material nature is ever existing, and the Lord is the supreme cause for both the subtle and gross manifestations of this material world. So Prabhupada is giving a very nice analogy for us to understand. The father and mother are there, but they may be children or they may not be children. So similarly, the Supreme Lord is ever existing. Material nature, she's ever existing. The material energy of the Lord, she's ever existing. She's not temporary. She's eternal. But just what is temporary? Sometimes this cosmic manifestation is manifest and sometimes it's not manifest. That's all. That is what is temporary. The manifestation is temporary. But material nature, she always exists. Now it says, this cosmic manifestation is asat. It does not exist. What does it mean? That it is temporary. It doesn't mean that right now, at this moment, we are not here. It's not that we are not here and this material world is an illusion. Some people say that, oh, we are not even here, it's all an illusion. No, we are very much right here. If someone pinches us, we are going to scream. We are very much here. So why is it called asat? Our thinking we are the body, that is not true. And what is this asat? That this is temporary. It's temporary. Sometimes it's manifest, sometimes it's not manifest. We are thinking this is it's a place of permanent, our permanent residence. In the passport, we have to write down permanent residence. So we are thinking this our permanent residence, and that is not true. Is that okay? So we are very much here, because some people think, oh no, it's all a dream anyway, I'm not here. You pinch someone, don't you feel hurt? Of course you feel hurt, because you're very much here inside the body. That's why you feel hurt. Dead body does not feel hurt. You pinch it, you cut it, nothing happens to dead body. Yes, please.
So that means that what they are trying to say is that the cosmic manifestation is temporary, because sometimes it annihilates and it manifests and unmanifests, right? But the
That's
material
right.
energy is always there, because it is the external energy of Krishna that is ever existing.
Ever existing. That's right.
Okay.
She's always existing. Yes.
Material even energy, if there's annihilation, then also the material energy is there, because Krishna is there, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So the material energy is Maya Devi.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Maya.
And the cosmic manifestation here you were trying to say is that the appearance of the universes when they right. When the Mahavishnu breathes out, right? That is the cosmic manifestation. So that happens and that manifests and unmanifests. So that is why that is asat.
That's right. Oh. That's right. That's right. That's temporary. Yes. Yes.
But
so we are thinking, I'm this body.
And we human beings take it as permanent.
Right? Yes. So very nice example I had heard from Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, that we are sitting on the bus. We are sitting on a seat in the bus. We are in a journey. Now, we start thinking that this seat is my permanent seat. I'm always supposed to sit on this bus, and this seat is always supposed to be where I am. That is what is illusion. We are very much on the bus, but thinking that the seat is my permanent position, that is what is the illusion. We need to understand, yes, I'm on the bus. This is not, the seat does not belong to me. I have to get down from this seat. I have to go. Yeah. Does that make it a little better?
Yes.
Yeah, that we are thinking I am this and this person. I am so and so. This is my name. This is my last name. I live in this city and I belong to this family and I am so great because I have so many relatives and this and that. So all this designations, as it's called, upadhi, the upadhi, we are thinking that it is true, but those upadhis only belong to the body, not to the soul. Our identity is completely different, and we need to revive that original identity of ours. And that is the science of self-realization or Krishna consciousness. And to revive that, we need to hear and chant and hear and chant. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Did you want to add anything?
I would say that we are all travelers in this material world. This material world is a traveler's inn. So we are here temporary. This is not our permanent home. We are traveling, so we have to move to the other world, the spiritual world.
Yes, very nice. Yes. Yes, perfect. So we'll stop here for today then.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening and enjoying it. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.